Welcome back to Show Me Trucks. In this video, I'm going to show you my new truck I just picked up. Super excited about it. I've never had a truck this old. If you follow along, I usually work on the 67 to 72s, mainly doing 67s. If you follow the channel, you know I'm converting this two-wheel drive C10 to 4x4, 3/4 ton with 8 lug axles. But that's not what this video is about. I've had a couple other trucks that I am selling off. I sold off a bunch of my extra parts so that I could pick up this old guy. This is a 1936 GMC truck. It obviously has no bed on it. This was a 1 ton or 1.5, whatever you want to call it, cab and front end, and the guy had put a short wheelbase 1936 Chevy chassis underneath it. This truck is just like I wanted. It's super wet right now because I was trying to take another day before I brought it inside, and it decided to pour rain. It never rains here, so pouring rain caught me off guard. So it rained all over this truck. Whatever, it's been outside for a couple of years, I'm sure. But super excited. I'm missing a few things, like couple of these bars that I would love to have, but it does have the headlights. It has a lot of the little stuff that would drive me crazy. I also want to get the original bumper. Hopefully it's kind of like a little chrome or silver bumper for the front, and I want to get the same original bumper for the rear. So super pumped on this truck. I'm gonna get into it a lot more later on and tell you some stuff I plan on working on. But another thing I'm looking for is, this is like a turn signal setup. I want to find out what goes down here and get it, and maybe I'll leave that on, maybe I'll pull it off. I'm not totally sure yet. I do have a mirror I'll show you guys later that I'm gonna put on here, but super pumped. GMC. So 36 apparently, from what I heard, is the first year they got into the smaller trucks. But this truck, rough as you want it to be. I would love the GMC little emblem that goes here. I need to switch out all the glass in this truck, all the felts, and a lot of little stuff. The inside is probably a little dark right now, but it's there. I wish I had the shifter knob because I would like to modify that a little bit. The gauges are looking worn. I haven't cleaned in here yet or anything. I literally just brought it home. I haven't done much to it, but this headliner we'll see on another day is all blown out, and it looks really bad on the floor right now, but that's because there's some leaves in there, and like I said, it rained. Also, I'm 90% sure that these floors used to be wood, so I'll probably put a wood floor there unless I get gung-ho and do a metal floor and put a rubber kind of carpet over it. Also, down here there's some wooden beams that support your doors, and that's why I'm not opening the doors. They hinge kind of crazy right now. I'm probably gonna replace that with metal. But as far as this truck goes, I want it to look how it looks right now. I think I'm gonna build a flatbed for it, and then maybe some wooden boxes that go underneath the flatbed in between the tire and the back of the cab, and maybe in the back, maybe store a battery back there and some other stuff. I'm looking for a pair of these 17-inch artillery wheels, 6 lug for the rear. So I'm actually looking for 3 because I'd like to have a spare on this truck too. I'm gonna run the maybe a little bit of a knobby style tire, skinny, I don't care. I want to drive this. This is actually gonna, as funny as that sounds, probably be my daily driver a little bit. And then I'll have the 4-wheel drive for when I need to tow things. And I know this has a tow hitch, I know all you guys saw it, but I don't think this truck will tow much. It has a lot of suspension travel for not much pressure, so I'm gonna do something about the engine also. I would maybe open this for you, but I can't get this hood to stay up well, and I also can't get it to latch well. But it has, I think this is a 207 engine, but it is seeing better days. I know it's dark in there, you can't really see much, but I'm not gonna use that engine. If it was more together and had regular bearings, these older ones have like Babbitt bearings. They got to pour the bearing. It's a lot of money and time, and I'm sure if it's like everything else right now, it's probably on back order and I'd be waiting forever. So I'm not gonna do that. I have an engine, and I know you guys are gonna hate it, but I have that 5.3 liter aluminum block, aluminum heads. I would love a manual transmission in this, but it has an automatic, has a 4L60E. But this truck is so light. I think this truck will, by the time I'm done with it, might be around 2,400 pounds. If you think about that, my short bed 67 from the factory is around 3,600 pounds. So a whole 1,000 pounds lighter. That engine's light. Obviously these, I know it's a 6-cylinder, but it's all iron block. It's iron everything. You know, the transmission's really heavy. The block's apparently really heavy. I've never messed with one of those. I wouldn't mind a 6-cylinder. I just don't have it. I want to drive this all the time. I'll get the Delmo kit and kind of hide the throttle body and make it look like an old school engine, tuck it and try to keep it really classy, keep it really clean in there. But I'm gonna drive it. I'm not probably gonna have my hood open all the time, but I want it to have a kind of an old school hot rod look, but with like a wood stake bed on the back. And I'll go get truck parts with it, take to swap meets and stuff like that. But I haven't wanted a 2-wheel drive. This has a I-beam front suspension. I haven't dealt with one of those before. I'm sure it rides a lot like the 4-wheel drive, you know. This truck's really light, so I imagine it being a little softer. They have some kind of friction shocks in these. I'm gonna see what I can do to modify it for modern shocks, but try to hide them and keep it as classy looking as I can. I want the truck to be very subtle. And I know I said I'm gonna put an Ellison engine in it. It's not because I want to go fast, it's because I want good fuel mileage and I want to lighten up the front end. Like everything, I feel like it will run smoother if there's not a ton of weight in the front. Maybe the I-beam suspension won't feel so rough if it's really light. If I can hide those shocks and make the mount to the U-bolts, I gotta see how all the steering linkage is. The steering linkage sits behind the I-beam axle, so there might be some interference issues. Obviously, I do not want the shocks in the front. I don't want you to be able to see them too much. I'll go with adjustable shocks so I can really tune the ride. Again, it's gonna have these road bike looking tires on it. I understand that it's not gonna feel that smooth. It's gonna rattle to death, but I'm gonna do everything I can to make it as smooth as I can, but keep that really classic look. I don't plan on lowering it or super hot rodding it or anything like that. I want to drive it. I want to keep it as cheap as possible, get it done as quick as possible. I want to do the seat myself. I'm real excited about that because we did a Dodge, an old school Dodge truck like this, and it had the same seat, and we just did like a plywood base and then, you know, foam on top, and it was nice, and it actually rode probably nicer than my spring seat that I have in my 67. So I hope you guys like this truck. I'm in love with it. I'm so pumped on it. There's some rust in certain areas that's weird, and there's not rust like where you'd expect, like in every other truck, like in the cab corners, and there's a little bit in the bottom of the doors, but I'm not even gonna touch it. I don't care. There are rusty bubble spots that I notice every time I touch. The paint comes off and there's a little chunk of rust underneath there, but I don't care. I want to keep it quiet. I'm gonna look into sound deadening, even though I'm a little worried about a lot of those are very much like tar, and if you ever put it on, you're never getting it off. So if I did it in the doors and stuff, I don't know. I'm questioning all that right now. Once I clean it up, the interior, I'm gonna see if me and the wife can handle how dirty it looks inside. Obviously it's rusty and crusty. To me, I don't care. I love it. To her, she's pretty excited we got an old truck, but I don't know if she wants to worry about tetanus every time she gets in the truck. So I'll clean it up, see what I can do. I'm not 100% sold on how people paint the interior super nice and leave the outside crusty. But if that's the way I have to go, that's the way I have to go. And I will paint it all original, keep it really classy and clean looking on the inside. But again, I expect it to be a rattly death trap. It's going from, I think, like 50 horsepower at best to 290. But again, you don't have to use all that horsepower, you know? Don't get crazy here. I don't have to be roasting tires everywhere, because if I even accelerate it too hard, I'm just gonna spin my tires anyway. So all you guys that hate on 4L60Es because they're real weak, well, they're only weak if your tires grab. So my tires are just spinning everywhere. I got to see about brakes. I thought it'd be all mechanical brakes, but it looks like hydraulic brakes. So because these are closed tube drive lines, and if you've never seen one like that, there's no like yoke on there. The articulation is in your transmission. So what I think I'm going to try to do is find a little skinny truck like a S10, or I heard some of the Toyotas are 6-lug. Maybe just throw one of those axles behind it, that way it's narrow. Again, I want it all to be really subtle. I don't want you to notice anything. And when I say that, and when I say I want it done as quick as possible, I'm not going to strip the whole frame down and paint it glossy black and do that with all the suspension or anything like that. All my exhaust, I'll paint it brown so it looks like a rusty brown. You know, the frame has lasted this long. There's no reason that I think that it's gonna just fall apart because it's getting used now. It's you know, it's metal. Yes, it deteriorates, and yes, it has issues, but let's pull this truck inside. We'll talk about it more later. Ooh, that was a struggle.